In a rule filled with devastating impacts for employers, high-skilled foreign nationals and employment-based immigrants, one feature of the Department of Labor's DOL H-1B wage rule stands out. In many instances, when an employer searches for the required salary for an H-1B visa holder, the DOL website reports a mandated minimum annual salary of $208,000, $100 an hour. That is because the Department of Labor boosted the percentiles and, therefore, salaries so high under its new system it is unable to provide salaries for many occupations in metropolitan areas. A National Foundation for American Policy (NFAP) analysis found, the new DOL wage system requires employers to pay exactly $100 an hour, or $208,000 a year, for over 18,000 combinations of occupations and geographic labor markets, regardless of skill level and position, because DOL cannot provide prevailing wage data for the occupations under the new system. NFAP found this takes place for some of the most common high-skilled occupations in leading high-tech areas. For example, if an employer uses the DOL website to check the required minimum wage for the San Jose Sunnyvale Santa Clara area for an H-1B visa for a software developer, systems, the DOL website reads, "Leveled wages cannot be provided in area 41,940 for the occupation code 15-1133 due to limitations in the OES Occupational Employment Statistics data." Employer-provided surveys may be considered under the appropriate regulation, unless the provision of a survey is not permitted. The wage data may be at least $100 hour, $208,000 year. The NFAP analysis notes that a private wage survey from Willis Towers Watson shows a software developer, systems, at the equivalent of Level 1 should earn $70,600 in annual salary in the San Jose Sunnyvale Santa Clara area, rather than the DOL mandated minimum salary of $208,000 a year. In other words, the Trump administration is requiring employers to pay foreign nationals much higher salaries than comparable U.S. workers. The $208,000 mandated salary for software developers is $137,400 over the market salary listed in the private wage survey. Would DOL accept a private wage survey? Perhaps, but many startups and smaller employers do not have access to such surveys due to cost, and the surveys are typically unavailable outside major cities. DOL notes only 8% of H-1B wage determinations are through private surveys. Under the Department of Labor's new wage rule, because the DOL website provides no other salary, software developers must be paid $208,000 a year, no matter the skill or experience level, in San Jose, San Francisco, Battle Creek, Michigan and several other U.S. cities, according to NFAP research. How big a problem is this? The DOL wage rule states that almost 40% of the perm labor certifications needed for most employment-based immigrants are for software developers, who would likely need to be paid $208,000 a year or be forced to leave the country.